What's going on, YouTube? How's everyone doing today? Hope you guys are fantastic. I am going back to work on the LB7 a little bit. We picked up the injectors. So I think the pilot injection failed a little bit, which is your injection or your injection at idle that keeps it smooth or something like that. I'm not a fuel expert, whatever. Kind of doing this on a budget. All the flow rates are still good, so we're probably going to put them back in for now and just keep an eye on it. It might smoke a little bit at idle. That's basically what's going to happen, is they got high flow rates at idle, essentially. So that'll give you your haze at idle, but the fuel rates are all good, the flow rates, so the truck will run. We'll just keep an eye on it. But like I said, just trying to get this truck back together. This is not, again, not my call. So, you know, I have to, there's certain things that, you know, I have to follow and do as far as this build goes. So we're gonna take them back in, probably get the injector cups in today, get the valve lash done, get all that stuff straightened out, and maybe start putting some fuel lines together today, and maybe get this thing ready for a startup on Sunday, because I have duty tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be able to make a video or anything. So we are coming to a close, hopefully, with this build. Hopefully everything goes well. We still need to do the front timing too. I forgot about that, so definitely got a little bit more to do. But we're gonna get there. I'm gonna go get a coffee, and we're gonna get our asses into gear so we can get this thing done. Alrighty guys, so this is where we had left off. We have the rocker bridges, I guess, or whatever you want to call them, arms, whatever, kind of installed fully, torqued, everything's good. So now we're going to do the valve lash, which I covered in a video a while back about on my LLY when I did it. But basically you go through and just follow the correct ones and adjust them. I think it's 10 to 12 thou on the adjustment between here. So this is where you're actually checking the lash is in between here and here with a feeler gauge. So I'll grab one right now and go over it. But like I said, this Haynes manual, so I'm on the right page somewhere. There we are. So it tells you with cylinder 1, top dead center on a compression stroke. It shows you all the ones that you need to do. Compression stroke, and then you do top dead center on an exhaust stroke and do the other ones, and that's basically how you do it. It tells you which ones to do, all that good stuff. So it's going to be like 1, 1, 3 intake, 5 intake, 7 exhaust, etc., etc. I won't go over the whole thing, but I will show you how to do it. Alright, disregard my last, guys. It is a 0.012 feeler gauge. It is a 14 mil wrench, if I can find one. Maybe 14 mil wrench, and you're gonna need a flathead of sorts, not a broken one. I don't know where the hell I'm looking at. We got a short one. It's not a flathead. Seem to have lost all my flatheads that are not broken. Here we are. So flathead, it's not broken, and this is gonna be really hard to film, but you should, I'll show you on here first. You should be able to put the feeler gauge underneath, and there should be a slight drag when you pull it out. Like, this is a little too loose for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and film this in steps. Gonna break that loose so your jam nut's loose. Here, let's see if I can get you set up. So hopefully you guys can see kind of what's going on here. Anyway, so our jam nut's loose. So you're gonna take your feeler gauge, put it in the rocker bridge, and you're going to tighten this down on it till you feel a little, there should be some resistance when you pull it out. So you should feel a little bit of resistance. And then you're gonna hold it in place. And lock this jam nut down. So that way you should have a little bit of resistance in there when you're doing it, and this isn't gonna move anymore. Same thing on the next one. See, this one's a little tight, so we're actually gonna loosen it. Actually worked out perfectly. I mounted spun it on the you don't need to go crazy, but you don't want it to be locked down, so. And you're just gonna repeat that for all of them. So I'm gonna go over and go ahead and do all, that was both cylinder 1 intake and exhaust. 3 intake, 5 intake, 7 exhaust. And then the other side is 2 exhaust, 6 intake, 8 exhaust. Rotate it 360 degrees so cylinder 1's top dead center on a exhaust stroke, and then do the rest of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick just so I can get it done. And you guys don't have to watch the same thing over and over again, but that's basically how you adjust them. Hopefully that makes sense. Always, if you have questions, feel free to email me or drop it in the comments and I'll answer. Alrighty guys, so we are on to our injector building phase. We have all the valves lashed, everything's ready to go, everything seems to be perfect. We have no interference in the motor, so that's golden. Timing seems to be spot on. So the next step is going to be getting the injector cups all set up, getting the injectors themselves all set up with the proper O-rings and everything. They were cleaned and tested like I said, so everything looks good. So how we're going to do this basically is I'm going to assemble the injector with the seals. I'm going to get a cup ready. I'm going to install the thread locker onto the cup. I will place the cup in the cylinder head, make sure it's seated, put the injector in and clamp it down. That way we seal these injector cups right away, because you have to put sealant around this part of the injector cup to seal it so that way it doesn't leak. So we're going to be generous with our sealing because we're not starting it, we're not putting coolant in it anytime soon, so we don't have to worry about water messing with it or anything. So we're gonna be generous with it, seal them in good, get them all clamped down, torque to spec, all that good stuff. And then basically once that's done, that might wrap it up for the day. But basically after that, it's just assembling the top half, the fuel rails, the valve covers and all that stuff. And yeah, getting closer every day. Alrighty guys, so we have all the injectors seated in, sealed down, kind of torqued to 37 foot-pounds on the LB7s and LLYs, I believe. It's for both of them. So next we'll probably be cleaning and assembling the fuel return lines. But as far as everything goes, I'm gonna check the torque on the rocker bridges. But the valves should be adjusted. The injectors are all installed. They should be curing right now. So hopefully that's all good. It would really suck to have a leak on one of those. Definitely not a good time. So I tried to use a little bit extra of the shit and kind of seal it up really good. So basically that's where we're at. We're gonna just keep plugging away, getting the fuel lines and everything installed on this. So that way hopefully we can throw the valve covers on soon and call it a day. What I will do before everything's kind of done, like the upper valve covers are on, I will I'll pour oil over the rocker bridge. That way it's all kind of sealed in, you know, or lubricated for the first startup. Alrighty guys, so we have the fuel injectors finally all installed, the valve lash complete, the injector return lines installed, and I think we're gonna call it a day there. So basically all that's left after this is to start assembling the fuel rails and everything, and then the lower valve covers, and kind of just button everything up to get this thing started. So I think we made a lot of good progress today, a lot of little stuff that, you know, was very repetitious, but everything is solid and we're leaving off on a good part. I'm gonna cover this all up, and yeah, we'll come back Sunday and hopefully knock it out of the park, and maybe have this thing running on Sunday. So as always, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like these videos, drop a thumbs up. It helps me know that you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm out.